Is that we're chatting today to Adrian Hamilton-Mann, who's the CEO of Fly Africa, South Africa's, well, I suppose, newest and only real, genuine, low-cost airline in the country. I suppose. So welcome to the studio, Adrian. Let's kick this thing off.
John, thank you very much for having me.
Okay. Right. So let's start right at the beginning. Genuine low-cost airline is something that I've been telling people here on Travels we haven't really had in South Africa, where you can fly for next to nothing and then you kind of add, depending on how luxuriously you want to do that flying. And this is a model that you're now bringing to South Africa. What's the introduction? What's the basic idea?
Correct. Well, we're bringing it not just to South Africa, we're bringing it to Africa. The flyafrica.com actually is a pan-African airline, so it will cover you once we have the full rollout from Cape Town to Cairo.
Right.
You can get on any place anywhere in Africa and you can fly somewhere else knowing the standard and the quality that you get. To do that, you have to do it differently to how every other airline is basically running their business. And you have to be low fare. So instead of charging 20,000 Rand to fly to Libreville, which is actually more expensive than flying to London,
right,
we're going to do it for about 4,000 Rand. Okay. So it actually builds people and allows them to travel.
All right. Now, as soon as people hear that, they start getting suspicious. How are you suddenly cutting the fare by that much? What is the system that you've got in place to try and reduce these fares?
It's very simple. I don't have long-haul flights to Beijing and to London that I need to subsidize by overcharging in Africa.
Okay. All right. Well, there you are. So you've got a novel system, for Africa, in how you're going to bill people for the various flights. How
Correct.
does this work?
We term it as, pay for what you want, don't pay for what you don't want.
Right.
Now, if you look at a South African airline, not naming names, they cost them about 40 Rand to put a meal in front of you,
right,
of very dubious quality. So would you rather spend 10 or 15 Rand on buying a pack of potato chips and save 30? Right. Would you rather save 40 Rand in total and not eat for an hour?
Right.
So it allows passengers the ability to tailor what they want. If you don't want to check in a bag, if you want to go to Victoria Falls with a handbag only, why should you pay for a bag?
Right.
Why should you not just have a lower fare?
So what are the various categories that people can generally save on? What are the main ones?
Well, so obviously the biggest one is baggage. If you don't take a bag, then don't pay for a bag. If you only take a small bag, pay for a small bag.
Right.
Don't be charged for 30 kilograms of luggage and check in 12. Again, you're losing money that way. And then it goes down to what you want to do. Do you wish to go to the lounge? Do you wish to have your priority bag so your bag comes off the belt first? Do you want to jump all the queues and be the first one to board the plane? Do you want to use, which we're rolling out in Harare, Fast Pass, so you can actually be the first person to the front of the immigration queue? So you actually go to the front with the immigration officers. You don't have to sit behind 300 people. Those types of things. If you want a service, you have to pay for it because it costs us money to provide it.
Right.
So we need to recover the cost. But the average traveler, if they do not want any of those services, they don't pay for it. It doesn't affect their ticket price.
Right. So I suppose the idea would be that if they took all of those services that they would find on SAA, then the price would be relatively similar.
Nowhere
in
near.
terms of nowhere near. Still,
we are selling our fares at the moment about 60 to 70% cheaper than SAA.
Right.
When you put on the bag and you put on the seat and all those other things, you wind up being half the price.
Okay, so it's
you
still
can
actually
fly for a business class type experience for 1,500 Rand. It's very cheap.
Right. Okay. Now, what are the initial flights, the routes that you've initially done?
So we've been flying for 3 months now between Johannesburg and Victoria Falls. It was kind of like a proving process to make sure that we had all the processes working and that our on-time performance is correct. And we've got a 99% on-time performance. It's very, very good. Right. We think it's the best actually in Africa. So we've now rolled out. We've started Harare, Johannesburg last week. That's a daily flight. And we announced today that we're flying between Lusaka and Johannesburg and Cape Town and Windhoek. Also, 2 weeks ago, we announced the launch of Namibia Fly Africa, which is doing Johannesburg and Windhoek. So currently we've got 6 routes, and then today we're announcing Bulawayo, Johannesburg, which takes us to 7 routes.
Right, okay. And,
so
and as
got
you
a
say,
rapidly expanding network.
Right, and as you say, by the end, it's going to be Cairo and anywhere in Africa.
Anywhere in Africa. Our next play is obviously into West Africa. We're going to be building at least 2 bases in there, and we're also going to be covering off with 1 and probably 2 more bases in Southern Africa. We have applied for a South African air service license, but we'll see how many objections we can collect, because not a lot of people are going to want us in this market.
Okay. Now, obviously, with such I suppose, a complex almost ticket pricing system where people have to pick and choose and they can change their ticket prices by minutiae, you must have quite an interesting website. Is it all very obvious to people when they click on things what they're paying for and how they're paying? Is it an opt-in, opt-out system? How does it all work?
We believe in complete transparency. We show you what the fare is. We show you what the government cut is for taxes and airport fees. We show you how much it costs to purchase a bag, so you can opt in or opt out, however you wish to do it, however you want to structure your travel. But the greatest benefit for us is we do not charge a fuel surcharge. So other airlines will charge you 900 or 1,000 Rand to fly to Harare and then bill you a further 2,000 Rand as a fuel surcharge, which they pocket and keep and claim somehow it belongs to the government, which is a lie. So in exchange, we don't apply any of that. So we keep a very low fare.
Okay. Now, there's also the other thing about a low-cost airline is that people ask is, what are the planes like? Are they all from 1943, propeller-driven? I mean, what planes are you flying at the moment?
We fly 737s. The aircraft are obviously standard. I mean, you must operate to the same safety standards or higher than everyone else does. I mean, aviation is actually a very, very level playing field when it comes to maintenance, when it comes to planes, when it comes to standards. So there is no issues at all about that. We have an outsourced provider who does maintenance. They've been checked by the civil aviation of both South Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia. They're also going through European audit, which is actually a step above the other maintenance providers. They'll be EASA certified. So we're actually making sure that when it comes to safety, there are absolutely no shortcuts here. We maintain and look after our aircraft perfectly.
All right, so then how do people actually book their ticket? What's the best way?
Many ways. We do have flyafrica.com, which is the preferred method because the cheapest fares are always available on the website. There's the app. You can download that from the Apple Store. We just released that last week. We then also have a mobile website that works. And then we have travel agents. And our travel partners obviously have got, we've got a great relationship we're building with them. We've also got a partnership which we have had in place now for 3 months, which has worked well, with a company called Avia Reps, which are meeting all of the travel agencies. So you can book through any travel agency, through the web. You can go to a ticketing office at the airport in town. There's many ways you can give us your money to get a very, very cheap flight into Africa.
Right, okay. And if people want any extra information, I suppose it's all on the website as well.
Yes, we've got a lot of information on the website. We've got a competition running until November, which encourages people and gives them a free flight if they sign up for our email notification. We will be announcing in the next 2 weeks several more destinations, another airline as well, which gets people into close parts of Africa. And on top of that, we're going to be flying something called Happy Hour, which will be for 1 hour, we're going to have ridiculously low fares. We started flying from Victoria Falls to Johannesburg, and we're selling for 99 Rand.
Okay.
And we're going to go lower than that.
Oh, wow.
So we also got Happy Hour. So if people can sign up to the website, they'll find all about it, and they'll have to have notification early of their travel.
Right, well, there you are. Now you've got no more excuses. Africa's available. It's there. Thank you very much for your information and your insight.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, that was it. Flyafrica.com. That's where you've got to be visiting. That's what you've got to be looking out for if you are looking for traveling into Africa. And I think more and more people are, not just on business, but also for particular leisure or adventure holidays. Now you've got no excuse to not see your own continent.